Mark I've left on skateboarding in Lafayette. Wow. I wish there was some good answer that I could come up with here. Um, Deepest voice? Trace Huevos? Um, uh, Mark left on skateboarding could be just, I don't know, kind of breaking the whole, like, older guys talking shit to the younger dudes type of thing. I tried to be nicer to a lot of the younger kids because I knew they were next generation, but um, I can't really take credit for all of that. You know, it definitely faded away after the whole LFT thing broke apart. Those are some of the hatinest dudes in all of Lafayette, that's for sure.
Um,
Generation of Lafayette skateboarding. Definitely Adrian, little sped. He's pretty much the up and coming. That's it. That kid kills it. He's next level. He's probably the one that's going to make a name for Lafayette, that's for sure. Him and, Axl Rose. But session in Lafayette with 5 skateboarders would be the coffee grinds, more than likely. That spot was just well rounded. 5 different people could skate that spot 5 different ways. Be probably Tyrone, Larry, Steven would have to be there. That dude, he'll charge any session. Man, that's a good one. Jonathan would have to be there for sure. I only got to see that dude skate in person a couple times. Amazing. And probably Tim Brannigan before he broke his ankle. That dude, he is a street machine. But yeah, the coffee grind's definitely best spot ever. You just fly through there. I mean, if there was no security, you could skate that thing forever. This is the funnest spot. Bumps, ledges, all kinds of shit. Stairs around the corner. So much fun. Back then, I skated every day, at least. At least, like, step on my board every day. And now it's so few and far between. Life gets in the way, man. It sucks. I was putting in work from time I got up until at least when the sun went down back then, and now I skate for 15 minutes, I'm winded, smoke too much. The advice I could give to the new generation would definitely be take your time. It's not about getting famous. It's about having fun. Don't push it. Don't force it. It'll never happen if you force it. Just skate, man. Just go out and have fun. Skate. Best Sedge, best. There's a pretty good. The best skate story we ever had, or well, best skate story I ever experienced. It was just long, hot summer days skating, and the homies always had apartments that we would go to and barbecue or whatever. You know, it was just a party all day, party all night type of situation during summers. There, it was always fun. Whether it was watching everybody shotgun beers or beer bong beers with Brannigan spit in them, or apparently Brannigan rubbing meat on his ass and watching people eat it, or man, so many good stories. Wildest skateboarder from Lafayette is probably a toss up between BA and Van's cousin, Horton. Those two were insane. Horton had a tattoo of himself. That was always really good. That dude was crazy. With the flames around his neck, always doing crazy shit. He had the best backstories that you would hear from other people. And BA was just, he was crazy constantly. Definitely, I don't know, Steven's in the running too, because he's the craziest dude ever. He carried around boxing gloves for a whole summer, just asking people to box him. everywhere he went, and taking a beating, dishing out a beating. It was just fun for him to punch people. It was hilarious. I have a Clausen story. That dude's, he was never crazy after, like, when I met him. He was always mellow. He was always just a mellow dude. Like, he quit smoking weed, I think, right before I met him. And he kind of mellowed out. The Clausen stories are always secondhand. You'll have to get those from somebody else. Dude, that guy, I heard he fucking smashes his head into doors and shit when he was a little kid. Like, he's just got stories for days. I guess he's like the most hyper kid ever. But yeah, I don't have any good Clausen stories. He's mellow now. He's way mellow now. Yeah, the best Clausen stories are from now, out here, watching him fucking wasted over at James's house, walking down the steps and getting about 4 steps from the bottom and just falling face first onto the ground, onto the cement, and just like popping up like nothing happened. That dude, he is not somebody probably to be fucked with. He looks like he could probably take a serious beating. If I saw him smash his face onto cement from 4 stairs up, he could probably take a pretty good beating. Music that I was into during my era was definitely all over the place. It went from Kill 'Em All to Enter the 36 Chambers to, I don't even know, man. It was all over the place. It definitely shaped the way I listen to music now, and like the openness I have about like listening to certain music. Eclectic, definitely. It was gangster rap 1 minute, and fucking the heaviest of heavy metal the next minute, to like reggae with Brannigan after he went fucking dread or whatever. Definitely all over the place. Good tunes though, man. Skateboarders, Lafayette Skateboarders are definitely the most well-rounded as far as their music taste. Let's see. All-time favorite Lafayette Skateboarder is definitely Jonathan. There was something about that guy that was definitely more than like a normal person. He was more off of his skateboard than he was on. He's like the most genuine person I ever met. First time I ever met the guy was at a party at Hagit's house, and it was a New Year's party, and I had to leave early because little kid, mom making me go home early, and it was, January in Lafayette. It was fucking freezing out, and he offered me his jacket when I was leaving. It was definitely like, and this is the first time I ever met the guy, and he like just offered me his jacket off of his back so I could skate home. It was one of those things that just always stuck with me. He was amazing, and on his skateboard, just smoothest dude ever. Definitely a ripper. He's a real stand-up guy. He's missed for sure. Story of the Daggers is just
like, how did they start? Like, what's the story? What was the event? So like, what?
Oh man, I don't
you
know.
Think?
It was. Oh man. The building of the Lafayette chapter of the Daggers was definitely just. I just remember watching that movie like 60,000 times during like probably like a year period with like the same dudes all the time, over and over and over again, and it just kind of built from there. It was definitely like a step into like the whole like fuck you type of attitude that like the whole group of guys had. It was not like a clean cut type of, like pretty boy skateboarder. It was more of like a, kiss my ass, fuck you, like we don't give a shit what you think type of feeling to it. And I was always one of the dudes that was like on the, the outside of it. And kind of made my way in, you know. There was a beat in. There was definitely a beat. I got the shit kicked out of me by a bunch of Daggers, for sure.
Who were the original members?
The original members of the Daggers: Lopez, Nate, and Tyrone were the three heavies. Steven was in there. Van came along. Oh man, those are good times. Wow, those are really good times. That was probably the most fun I ever had. Was those like years that we were Daggers, you know, like all the time, just like fuck you, Daggers, you know. I mean, that's like since faded, but it's still fucking a big part of me. It's fuck. Those are definitely my formative years of the whole fuck you attitude that I have with the rest of the world. It's good times, man. Good times. I think the first time I met Nate was at Chauncey too. I think Tyrone was with him. And he had met him before I did, and like known him and skated with him a few times, and I hadn't met him yet, and I just rolled up on him, and he was just a really nice, I mean, he was, like, for the most part, he was a nice guy. I mean, like, right here wasn't, you know, he wasn't such a nice guy right here, but I definitely had an in being a friend of a friend. But he was that dude is sick, and he has progressively gotten gnarlier and gnarlier and gnarlier and gnarlier since then. He is probably one of the scariest guys I know now. Yeah, the first time I met him was just skating. It was just skating like at Chauncey, like in the parking lot or the ledges that were right in front of the pizza place. Just skating that shit, and then just kind of built from there. We got to be homies. I used to have a little section on the wall in my bedroom that just had like Nate quotes. It was definitely some awkward shit. There's my name is Nate, and I got a taco in my pocket. Was written on my wall. That was pretty interesting. But but yeah, Nate is wow. Nate's fucking crazy. Not only is he crazy, he's crazy looking. He's definitely scary as fuck now. He was one of those dudes, kind of like Bruce Lee, just flex and all the veins pop out, and fucking had he's got some demons in him. That's for sure. He's definitely got demons inside of him. But he's pretty mellow if you know him. But if you don't, he's definitely the scariest dude you've ever seen.
Yeah.
Fucking Dagger days. It wasn't garage days. It was fucking Dagger days. It was that was a fucking interesting period. There was definitely a whole like fuck the world type of feeling about like a solid 5 years of Lafayette Skateboarders. It was, man, those were fucking great times. It was work as little as possible, skate as much as possible, tell all the kids who were in college to quit being faggots and skate more. Be as sketchy as possible in all aspects of life. Writing books about how to hook up with chicks. There was definitely some sketchy shit that went down in those like 97, 98 to like 2000, somewhere in there. Yeah, those were glory days. That's for sure. Glory days and glory holes. What got me into skateboarding was, man, a way out of acting like a childish little shithead causing trouble around town. I saw people skating, and I always thought it was something that I wanted to do, and I didn't really have anybody to like get me into it. It was more like people that I saw around like the high schools and stuff that I'd see skating that I don't even know who it is now. It's just, you know. So I ended up stealing a skateboard from somebody's front yard, and that's how it started. I started skating in '94, Christmas of '94, right around. Kind of got serious about a year later. So I'd say '95.
What was your first setup and where'd you get it?
Christmas present. My first setup was a Christmas present from my mom. My first legit one. It was from Muse. Full deluxe setup. Real board. Coco Santiago with Thunder trucks and Spitfire wheels.
Who was your original skate crew when you started?
My original skate crew was me and Van. And there was definitely like a few kids around that I skated with. Mike Westfall, skated with him. Kind of actually started skating with him after I moved away from the neighborhood that Van lived in.
Who was your local skating?
Local, Dane Stafford, for sure. Idol, man. Love that guy. Definitely looked up to like the whole LFT crew when I was a little kid. Like Larry and Sega and Tyrone and, you know, all those cats. Ooh. Lafayette skate legend when I was growing up was definitely Jonathan Hicks and Adam Belts. Adam Belts was more of a untouchable type of. I never really got to meet the guy too many times, but he was all stories. He was the legend for sure. Man. The skate scene during my era was definitely crusty. It was skating the shittiest spots we could find. All the way across town, skating from like Jeff High School all the way to the Pickle, Chauncey, and just skating that all day long, going all around campus, and it was just rugged. That's my favorite skate spot. Is definitely a really hard question to answer. There's so many good ones. The middle schools always had really good ledges. Sunnyside ledges were really good. That was over in Lafayette. The Tecumseh ledges were really good. There's always a lot of really good spots in downtown. And then all of the campus spots, all the campus ledge spots were amazing. G-Curb and Coffee Grinds. Wow. Coffee Grinds.
What?
Oh, man. Apparently there's this, the best skate rumor I ever heard was about me, and you'll see it in Neil's section, about me rolling up and doing a switch flip and then leaving or something. I don't know. He says I drove a Nova, but it was a Cutlass. The only affiliation I had with any skate crews that ever lasted very long was the Daggers. That was, oh man, legends. Watch out. I heard they actually killed somebody. I never really had too many, well, I never had too many run-ins with the law other than in the underground parking garage, or the underground subwalks. And that was always just a joke. It was just hiding from them in spots where they should have known where we were at and not, and just laughing about it. It was always just like cat and mouse, just waiting for them to catch us and then just, or waiting for them to find us and then just running from them and watching them chase us. So much fun. If I could change one thing about the spots that I skated where I grew up, it would definitely be telling less people about the hidden spots that we had, maybe angle ironing a few things, not letting it get so blown out.
Tell me
my first time meeting Van. That was interesting. It was in the Village Pantry that was right around the corner from my house, and he was like 17 at the time, and you know, he looks like a midget, and he was buying cigarettes somehow, and I was like really young. riding the board that I got my first board, and I just hear him from out of the, like, right next to the door ask, like, whose stick is this? And I was just like, pop my head up, and he was there just like holding my skateboard, and I was, oh, you know, that's mine. And then I found out he lived close, and we just started hanging, still boys. God, I don't even remember the first time I met Larry. First time I met Larry was probably in high school. He was always one of those guys that was like legendary Larry. He was one of those dudes that you didn't really approach, you know, per se. But I ate lunch with him and Sega, and those dudes, they just rip on everybody, including me. They're dicks, but good times, good dudes. First time I met Tyrone was at Chauncey in the parking lot, and it was always one of those, heard about him, never met him, and he was doing switch flips in the parking lot, and I was asking him to teach me how to do them, and he kept telling me they were regular, and he skated regular like the entire time that I was like near him. It was like probably a solid hour, and then I ended up finding out that he was goofy. It was really funny. But one of the first times we ever hung out, I think I went over to his house and got in his hot tub with a pack of cigarettes in my pocket. He was pretty bummed. It was not a good thing. Maine, first time I met Dane was at Van's house. I was over there skating the church parking lot that was right next door to his mom's house, and Dane just came over like doing perfect 360 flips every try in the parking lot, and I'm just like, you know, sitting there in awe, just like, oh man, I wish I could skate like that dude, you know. And he was really cool. Ever since the first time I met him, he was always a really nice guy. He kind of took me under wing for a little while. I don't know, everybody started calling me Little Dane. That was kind of a bummer, but you know, he was the boy, so I didn't mind it. First time I met Steven, to be completely honest, I barely remember it, but I'm sure he was acting some kind of crazy. It was probably at Chauncey. It was probably with Tyrone. I don't know. That dude's wild, man. Every experience you have with Tyrone or with Steven is a crazy one. It's just, that dude's wild. Oh man, I don't remember the first time I met BA. There's plenty of stories of that dude acting like psycho, but the most memorable one is premiere of one of the Dagger videos over at Mike Kim's house, and my younger brother was there with one of his friends, and BA for some reason decided to try to fuck my little brother's friend with a banana and chased him around the apartment trying to fuck him with a banana. It was pretty funny. Craziest skate violence I ever witnessed wasn't really witnessed. It was firsthand. I got tackled by one of the guys that worked at the pizza place that's at the corner on Chauncey, but I mean, that pizza place has changed names so many damn times, but this dude was militant, just a prick whenever we would be skating near around the corner there, and I came around the corner on my skateboard and he jumped up and flexed, and I was just like, sit the fuck down, and he just started chasing me and tackled me and like started choking me and shit. I was just like laughing in his face while he was choking me, but ended up calling the cops, and of course they didn't fucking do anything at all. But that's fucking pickle problems. You know it is, they don't care about us.
Pickle problems.